Topping today's news, members of the government led by Prime Minister Davis in London for the King's coronation. One of the suspects believed to be responsible for the murder of two brothers arraigned in court today. A traffic accident claims the life of a female driver on Grand Bahama, and severe flooding inside the terminal at the Lynden Pilling International Airport on the weekend. This is your Jcn Evening News. It is a pleasure to have you join us. Governor General Sir Cornelius A. Smith and Prime Minister Philip Davis, along with other government officials, are in the United Kingdom for the coronation ceremony of King Charles III, scheduled for Saturday, May 6th. The official opposition leader, Michael Pintard, was also invited by the Prime Minister to join him for the historic occasion and is also in London. Bahamian government officials joining leaders from around the world to attend the coronation. In previous meetings, the Prime Minister and King Charles discussed their shared advocacy for climate change mitigation and sustainable development. In addition to attending the coronation, Prime Minister Davis will address the House of Lords, meet with investors, and discuss opportunities for strengthening tourism partnerships. Prime Minister Davis extends his heartfelt congratulations to King Charles and the British people. The man prosecutors believe is responsible for the double killing of two brothers, Tyrone and Shakur Oliver, on Saturday, April 22nd, had his time in court today, and the 27-year-old Omar Thompson Jr. appeared before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt, where he was formally charged with 2 counts of murder. The double murder took place in the parking lot of Solomon's Supercenter shortly after 2 a.m. that Saturday morning. Thompson was not required to enter a plea due to the nature of the crime. He was denied bail and was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. The matter is adjourned until the 22nd of August, when he is set to return to court for service of a voluntary bill of indictment. An early morning traffic accident on Grand Bahama has claimed the life of an adult female. Based on initial reports, shortly before 3 a.m. on Saturday morning, police received reports of a traffic accident in the area of Balau Road involving a gray Honda vehicle driven by a lone female who was traveling in a southern direction. The victim she lost control of the vehicle and collided into a concrete utility pole. The vehicle had extensive damages and the victim had to be extracted using the jaws of life. EMS personnel responded. They transported the victim to a hospital where she was examined and pronounced dead. Investigations continue into that traffic accident. The Bahamas Department of Corrections welcomes 100 new recruits with the official signing ceremony held on Monday morning. This year's recruitment process making history, as at least one young person from every family island was represented in the squad of 2023. Acting Commissioner of Bahamas Department of Correctional Services, Don Clare, challenged the new recruits to be loyal to the department and maintain their integrity as they have joined during a very important time for the department.
But I want you all to remember one thing. One thing I want you to remember is that whatever you do, there is lots of temptation in this place. You must be honest and committed and free of corruption. That's all I will say. And bear in mind now, and your reward shall be great. Some of you are coming at a time when your salary is now increased to $20,000. When I joined government, I was making $12,000 a year. Look at you. Stop not at $20,000. I mean a big salary. My goodness. I'm also so cherish it. Be happy. And also you're coming at a time when we are now finally going to corrections.
The keynote speaker for the occasion was Minister of National Security Wayne Munro, who encouraged the recruits to uphold and respect the rights of all inmates.
And so your job as corrections officers, you visit residents daily. How you are judged, not by me, not by Mr. Clare, not by anything else, but how you are judged in the judgment will be how you interact and deal with the residents in your care. And if you don't believe me, read the actual words of Christ, and it is very obvious. And so you should be motivated not by what Mr. Clare thinks, not by what the minister thinks, not by what anybody else thinks, but what Christ commands us all to do. And so when they get tough on you, and they can try and break you, you know, that's what I understand they do. Here, the police college, the Defense Force training facility, they will break you to build you into a more efficient human being.
The 100 new recruits will undergo a 20-week recruitment training and certification course that includes an extensive curriculum designed to prepare them for what will be a distinguished career as correctional officers. At no time was there any impact to flight operations or delays at the Lynden Pendling International Airport on Sunday morning as a result of flooding inside the terminal. Airport officers expressed regret that arriving passengers were inconvenienced during cleanup efforts. Videos and pictures circulated social media on Sunday. You're looking at some of the video right here that showed arriving passengers having to wade through ankle-deep water as they neared the immigration desk. In another video, water could be seen flooding into a baggage storage area and gushing from the wall in a passenger boarding bridge. NAD explained in a statement on Sunday afternoon that the flooding was due to a failure in a fire suppression line which occurred at approximately 10:20 a.m. The statement continues that NAD's maintenance and customer experience teams, along with support of the Ministry of Tourism's guest services and other airport stakeholders, immediately mobilized to address the issue. At 12:40 p.m., repairs were made to the damaged line and the system was reinstated and continues to be monitored closely at this time. Since a statement released by the Central Bank of the Bahamas stating that construction of the new Royal Victoria Gardens headquarters was completely canceled, Governor of the Central Bank, John Rolls, says although that move has been foregone, the bank is in fact in need of a new accommodation.
No, it's not happening on the, we're not building on the Royal Victoria Gardens site. The government is going to make other use of that. So we do anticipate that we are going to have to invest at some point in additional accommodations, but it's not going to be on the Royal Victoria site. There are ideas, they're very promising ideas, but we're going to pace it a bit, but we'll be open about it.
Mr. Roll has been tight-lipped on when that move will take place. He says the bank is currently in the works of constructing a new cash center in the southwestern part of the island.
I can't say, but I can tell you that we are already working on our cash and data center. So that's a project that's actively taking place in the Frank Watson Highway area. So that's also a priority for us. Cash and data center. So what we're going to be doing is, once we have constructed that facility, we won't be handling any of our cash in the downtown area anymore. So that'll be our new currency operations. And it will be a backup facility for our computers and IT service.
The central bank governor says, as it stands, the current location of the bank in the downtown area is a security risk.
It's a security hassle being downtown, even for the commercial banks that have to come in and out of the central bank. And so just moving away from that congested area is going to be safe, not just for those who are handling it, but for people who are typically in the neighborhood when that's happening. So we don't want to take it for granted what's involved with preserving the security.
As for the price tag associated, Mr. Roll says that information will be released sometime next week. And finally, in this segment, with COVID-19 immigration restrictions nearing their expiration date, the United States Department of State and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security have announced sweeping new measures to stop migrants from illegally entering the United States while significantly expanding lawful pathways for protections and facilitating the safe, orderly, and humane processing of migrants. During the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention implemented a temporary public health order, Title 42, which will be lifted at 11:59 p.m. on May 11th. In making the announcement, officials of the Biden administration made it clear that the lifting of Title 42 orders does not mean that the border is open. The United States will return to using Title 8 immigration authorities to to expeditiously process and remove individuals who are at the U.S. border unlawfully. A statement from the U.S. Embassy here in Nassau said, in response to the increase in maritime migration and interdictions, and to disincentivize migrants from attempting the dangerous journey to the United States by sea, the U.S. will make individuals who have been interdicted at sea after April 27th ineligible for parole process, which is open for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans. U.S. officials say the measures, which were announced last Thursday, will be implemented in coordination with regional partners like Mexico, Canada, Spain, Colombia, and Guatemala. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.